This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Twitch. It's time for a border battle. Sioux Falls hosts a team from Minnesota for the first time since Season 7 of the SFL, when the Minneapolis Maulers defeated the Sparrows in the playoffs on their way to their second title. Now a new rivalry begins. Legend Sparrows, here from Liberty Park. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. Joining me in the booth tonight is my best friend from north of the border, Brett Solberg. Great to have you back, partner. Both of these clubs come in with an opening week victory, which sets the stage for an already important Central Division clash.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to this matchup here. This could be an early matchup between two Central Division juggernauts, as Minnesota and Sioux Falls look to be on top of the division right now. And with Tulsa just losing their second game already in the season, this could be the separation between first and second in the Central already.
An enticing matchup. Johnny Reno, one of the newest quarterbacks in the league, taking on Julian Tyree, one of the oldest and longest serving members in the SFL. And speaking of long-time members, and ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you join us as we pause for a moment of silence. On Friday, July 15th, the SFL family lost one of its most treasured members. Mexico City champion quarterback, SFL analyst, and inaugural Hall of Fame class member, Matt Wilson, has passed away at the age of 41. He is the SFL's greatest quarterback with 48,680 yards and 354 touchdowns displayed on the field despite his physical ailments off of it. And he has been an inspiration to us all. He is free from the burdens of this world now, but his legacy lives on. Matt Wilson, number 12 forever.
And select a kick.
Minnesota or Sioux Falls, who comes away with early division bragging rights? As Matt Wilson would simply put it, there is only one way to find out, and that is on the field. Minnesota will kick us off to begin matters here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. As here we go, we are underway in Sioux Falls. AJ Levy on the return makes a couple of men miss. Gets a really nice return out to the 29-yard line as Julian Tyree takes to the field with the Sioux Falls offense. Last week, 33 of 40 for 342 yards, a touchdown interception in their win over Queen City, 30-10 last week. 14 season vet will go under center and handoff to one of the newer tailbacks for the Sparrows they've had in recent memory, Marcus Duncan. First round pick out of Madison is going to only gain one. Axel Raven on the tackles. We introduce you to the rest of the Sparrows offense. Marcus Duncan, the tailback, with Charlemagne Cornelius at fullback. Michael Knight, AJ Warren, Noe Terrazas, Kay Marion are the wide receivers, with Johnny Van Man and Moose Mitchell heading up the offensive line. Tyree going to look for a swing pass near side for Duncan. He spins around one of his offensive linemen, providing a block, picking up 4 yards.
Yeah, and they're really looking to get Marcus Duncan involved a lot here in the early stages of the season here, trying to get him acclimated to the differences between the SFL and SFLM. Sometimes the hits are a little bit harder, sometimes the catches are a little bit tougher to make. So right now, first 2 plays right to him.
Duncan, 12 carries for 72 yards and a pair of rushing touchdowns a week ago, as the third play of the offensive drive is going to be short by about 2 yards, as Tyree was able to find Warren only able to get to the 38-yard line, and it's a quick 3-and-out for Sioux Falls.
And it's Johnny Bravo there with the first down stopping tackle. One of a bevy of former Charleston Predator players coming to Minnesota in this expansion signing period, and now forcing Sioux Falls to punt this football away.
Refontaine. His punt is away, just avoiding the pressure as return man Adam Banks, formerly of Louisiana, gets a couple of yards to the return to the 26. Out comes Johnny Reno to lead the charge here for the Legend. Last season, his rookie campaign started with Fort Worth. Total of about 70% completion percentage, just under 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions, which was third least in the league a season ago. Offset single back behind Reno is Colin Hart. Reno's going to look to throw on the first play. He has to throw off his back foot, and coming back to get it is Jason France, the tight end, helping out his quarterback and picking up 5 yards for the Legend.
And Johnny Reno really showing his capabilities as a quarterback early on here, throwing off his back foot, which is probably the most difficult thing you can do as a quarterback, trying to evade his way from the pursuing lineman from Sioux Falls and still getting a nice catch from Jason France.
Heavy set now here for the Legend as they're going to run to the left-hand side with Hart. He gets knocked back a couple yards. Loss of 2 on the play as a couple of defenders went in there. Number 44, Derek Williams, in on the stop in that one.
Yeah, and Colin Hart's going to be a big key point for this Sioux Falls defense. He is a 9-season veteran. He has seen a lot of touches throughout his career, and he's always dangerous whenever possible.
Shotgun set now here for Reno. He's back to pass, looking over the middle. That is caught near the 40, and down to the 41 goes Adam Banks, and the Legend have the first down of the ball game.
Yeah, and Adam Banks had a pretty big game for himself last week with 75 yards and a touchdown, really getting himself involved early on in Minnesota's young season here. And we might see a lot more of him this week as well.
Brand new set of downs here for Minnesota. Reno, out route right-hand side, caught. Adam Banks in on another reception, this time for 3 yards before he trots out of bounds. And let's introduce you the Minnesota offensive starters. Johnny Reno, the quarterback, with Colin Hart at tailback. Tank Williams, not Frank Williams, is the fullback. Buchanan Simons, Quag Mam. Jay Taylor and Adam Banks are the wideouts, with Christian Bachagalupe and Jason France at tight end. Goal line eye on the field now. It's a swing pass near side for Hart. Hart met in the backfield. Excellent pursuit from Nick Fargo. Has spent 10 seasons with the club, 11 seasons all time. The stalwart linebacker at it again.
Yeah, all 6 of his all-star appearances have been under a Sioux Falls uniform, so he has been the heart and soul of this Sioux Falls defense for the better part of 5 years now.
Bump coverage now by the corners on those 4 wide receivers on another 3rd down. Reno, Sioux Falls send 4, pass over the middle, trying to look for Banks again, and they can't get it. And that's turned over. A nice pick from Nathan Barnett, and Sioux Falls will take over in Minnesota territory.
And there's one of the mistakes from Johnny Reno there. He had a pretty decent week last week against Canton, who didn't give him a lot of options, still ended up 30 of 40, but you're facing a Sioux Falls defense that only allowed 10 points to Queen City, who just had a victory last night to get themselves to 1-1. So it's a little bit of a different story here for Johnny Reno and club as Sioux Falls gets the turnover.
Balls will start off in an eye and hand off up the middle for Duncan. Duncan making a couple of shifty moves and getting him 8 yards. We introduce you to the Legend defense. Angela Meerkat, Buster Johnson, Max Knight, and Mark Miller, the defensive linemen, with Axel Raven, BJ Loveless, and Juan Mississippi at the linebacker spots. Cody Griffin and Johnny Bravo are the corners, with Tigga Clay, Rick Evans, Daniel Wright, and Derek Meerkat at safety. They'll flip the goal line eye now and go with another passing play, this time for the tailback Duncan, and Duncan is going to get ushered out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. Johnny Bravo there to meet him and greet him and push him out.
And right now, Sioux Falls has had about 5 or 6 plays, and Marcus Duncan's already had 4 touches, whether it be through swing passes or runs so far, really trying to get him involved. And right now, this 3rd and 2 is going to be key because they really need to get a first down before they get to the halfway point of this first quarter.
Another heavy set, out route left-hand side. That's good enough for a first as they get out of bounds around the 23-yard line. It's the tight end, J.J. McGee, with the reception.
Yeah, and Sioux Falls has plenty of options when it comes to tight ends. They also have Rod Tidwell and Miles Portis to kind of look out for. They might be one of those unsuspecting options for Sioux Falls, who has a bevy of wide receivers, Knight, Warren, Terrazas, and Marion. So watch out for the a tight end catch every now and again.
3 yards shy of the red zone. Sioux Falls come out with a bunch set. Tyree going to look for the screenplay in the direction of the bunch. And Duncan trying to make a man miss, cannot. Taken down by B.J. Lovelace after picking up 5 yards.
And about 5 defenders around Marcus Duncan as well. So he did a pretty darn good job of getting himself a decent amount of yardage. Good 5 yards. Opens up the playbook here for Sioux Falls on this 2nd down.
Now from the 18. 2 wideouts. They're going to go with a run near side for Duncan. Duncan with a couple of nice blocks, and Duncan is free to scamper on home. Touchdown, Sioux Falls. They strike first.
Yeah, and once you get the interception from your defensive side, the offense gets a little bit of jolt of momentum coming from their side as well. And it was a very well thought out drive process, getting a lot of touches from Marcus Duncan and getting himself involved. And with this last play here, great job from the offensive line and the wide receiver core on the right side to give Duncan enough blocking and space to kind of stretch to the right and get himself to the end zone. Sioux Falls here strikes first.
Marcus Duncan having an excellent rookie season, only his 2nd game in the pros. That's his 3rd touchdown on that 5-play, 42-yard drive resulted in Duncan's touchdown. The kick from Zostro Black is up and good, and Sioux Falls take a 7-point lead. And Brett, I want to bring you back in here as we were paying tribute to Matt Wilson, the Hall of Famer, a former colleague of us here in the broadcast team, and Brett, he's got so many people that are now part of this league because of him. And just tell us your story.
So I've been in the league since season 9, and once play-by-play actually started doing coming to fruition, I heard a lot of Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson games just going through, and I always had the itch to kind of start with the broadcasting, and it always seemed like the enthusiasm, it always seemed like, the research that Matt did throughout the entire time, that kind of pushed me over to the side of, you know what, let's give this broadcasting thing a try. And I couldn't have been happier when Matt was telling me that he gave me basically a seal of approval after my first game, and I was so happy about that. He's such an influence to this league.
Wilson will be forever missed, and his legacy will live on through all of us here in the broadcast team. Forever number 12. Pass over the middle is caught by Quig Mam, and Mam has their first catch of the ball game. Good enough for about 8 yards.
Yeah, and Mam didn't have too much of an involvement last week. Only 1 catch for the 8 yards, and it's pretty much a vivid image of last week here as Mam gets another 8 here. Hopefully gets a little bit more involved here this week.
2nd and short. 4-3 look out of Sioux Falls to counter a 2-back set. Reno going to look for an out route near side. Caught. First down to the 45-yard line. Buchanan Simons, formerly of Charleston, now with the expansion legend, gets the first down.
Yeah, and Minnesota's going to start relying on, their more veteran presences like Colin Hart and Buchanan Simons, who also is in his 9th season in this league. So there's going to be a lot of experience coming out of this after their first drive ending in turnover.
High formation swing pass near side. Colin Hart past the 40-yard line and down to the 42. Pick up a 7 for the tailback as we want to introduce you to the Sparrows defense. Biff Markham, Mike Wagoner, Darius Hawkins, and James Kelly are the defensive linemen, with Derek Williams and Jason Strongbow alongside Nick Fargo are the linebackers. John Barnhart, Nathan Barnett, and Terrell Davis the corners. with Jay Ringgold, Jukin Rukin Jr., and AJ Levy at safety. With a run this time for Hart up the middle, and he gets plastered after picking up 2 yards, and he was, as the lumber was laid on to him pretty heavily by Fargo. Fargo in a couple of heavy tackles early on in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you're going to see a heavy dose of Nick Fargo as we continue moving along in this game here if Minnesota continues to go with some Colin Hart gut runs. Fargo's going to be there all the time.
Formation, another handoff, and down goes Hart. They could not get through the middle of the line. It's the rookie Darius Hawkins that comes up the tackle behind the line. 4th down, Minnesota.
That was a huge tackle from Hawkins as well, because Minnesota's blocking did a great job of opening the gap for Colin Hart, and that could have been an easy 1st down if not for that tackle. So great job to stop Hart behind the line and force Minnesota to punt this football away.
On comes Ryan Platt from about his 27-yard line. He's going to punt this one away to AJ Levy. He's going to try and make a return from about his 24-yard line. Gets the 27-yard line. I want to thank our statisticians for the ball game: Yogi Barr, Rochelle Colston, and Zach Holdorf, otherwise known as Corman, on stats for us today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for helping us out tonight. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg here in the booth. Glad to have you with us for border battle number 1 between Sioux Falls and Minnesota. First play of the drive will be a run to the right-hand side for Duncan. He will gain about 3 yards. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Tyree going to look to throw. Long shot over the middle, just outside the outstretched arms of Kay Marion, incomplete.
Yeah, and Tyree's going to really look a lot to Kay Marion's side, as she had 144 yards last week in Sioux Falls' victory. So you would like to think those big pay dirt throws that we see from Julian Tyree heading Marion's way this time, probably about a yard or two too far away from her.
4 wideouts now here on 3rd down. Tyree all alone in the gun. Going to look to throw, slant pattern near the marker, and they will get A.J. Warren across the marker to the 38-yard line. 1st down, Sparrows.
Yeah, and I talked earlier about just, the extensiveness of the wide receiving core for Sioux Falls. Like I said, you got Michael Knight, you got A.J. Warren, you got Noe Terrazas, and Kay Marion. The last 3 there, well-known names around the SFL, and Michael Knight definitely trying to get himself involved with that extensive core.
All right, he's going to look to throw again from the gun. Corner out, left side, nearly taken away. Cody Griffin in on the stop, had the route read, and nearly had a pick.
Yeah, and Griffin is probably going to be that main matchup with Kay Marion throughout this game, so it's going to be a tough task to stay with her as well as try to deflect any passes, and so far has done a pretty decent job in staying close and really the cause of 2 incompletions.
Falls like the gun at the moment. They go back to it again. This time they'll have Duncan for company for Julian Tyree, but it's not enough as the Minnesota legend get into the backfield for the first time today. It's James Kelly with sack number 2 on the season.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of involvement with Minnesota's defensive line. It was a lot involving just doing great stops and pass deflections, but they did get 3 sacks. One of them was James Kelly, and he gets involved here this week with number 2.
Check that. Angela Meerkat, my apologies. 4th sack of her career, not number 90 for Sioux Falls, James Kelly. As the pass near side is close to the sticks, ultimately 2 yards short as the connection to Noe Terrazas gets him to the 46-yard line, and Minnesota's defense forces Sioux Falls off the field.
Yeah, and now that sack from Angela Meerkat, our mistake on that, really forced Sioux Falls into that 4th down situation as the offense comes out maybe to hard counter, maybe try to get the short run from Marcus Duncan.
4th and 2, as you said, partner. Sioux Falls offense still on the field in the goal line eye. Kyrie maybe trying to get the Minnesota defensive line to jump as the linebackers shift back, reading it well, and Sioux Falls will call a timeout with 38 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, not a bad decision here from Sioux Falls. See if they can get this young franchise, a lot of new players with new teammates around in Minnesota, maybe getting them to jump here, just see how their discipline is in this first half. And Minnesota did a good job in staying put. No one jumped and getting a timeout out of Sioux Falls here in the first quarter.
So as Sammy Prefontaine comes to punt away for the second time today, I want to remind you that it's part of a triple header, and we've got double bonus coverage going on our YouTube page at Simulation FL in YouTube. Atlanta versus Jacksonville just getting started. That game still knotted up at 0. Adam Banks calls for a fair catch here in South Dakota. They'll start on their own 18-yard line.
First two drives here from Minnesota have resulted in interception and punts. So Johnny Reno and company definitely needs to figure things out as we enter the late stages of this first quarter. See if they can turn things around offensively and move further down the field than they have so far.
Strong eye, tight end flex to the near hand side. Here on first down, first play of the drive. Reno going to look to throw right over the middle. Caught. Gains about 5 for Jay Taylor, another Charleston member. Buchanan Simons and Jay Taylor, two wide receivers of the dangerous Charleston Predators wide receiving core for the last few seasons. Now both transfer over here to Minnesota. 8 men in the box, trying to counter the eye. Hands off Hart. Fighting forward, trying to pick up the first down. Stopped about half a football length short. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Sioux Falls leads Minnesota 7-0 at the end of the first. You're watching the SFL on Twitch. Welcome back to Liberty Park. Here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg here in the booth. Rochelle Colston, Yogi Barr, and Zach Holdorf in stats. And back home at the SFL headquarters is Cameron Irvine, SFL commissioner and producer, as Colin Hart, for the second straight drive in a row, cannot pick up the first and will get blown backward.
Yeah, and the Sioux Falls defensive line and the linebacking core have been really on point and just keying in on Colin Hart, knowing that he's going to be a big threat if he's left open or if he's given any opportunity. So far, they've just been stifling him in this quarter.
Oh, snap is corralled by Platt. He does get the punt away as A.J. Levy spins out a one tackle, but is taken down at the 43-yard line. So after the turnover on the second play of the drive, the interception, and the ensuing Marcus Duncan 18-yard rushing touchdown, not a whole lot has happened. A whole lot of punts, partner.
Yeah, 2 punts so far for Minnesota, and they haven't had a lot of time possession. Sioux Falls has done a great job in possessing that football and trying to extend that clock as much as they can.
And off through the middle. Duncan gets a good hold. He breaks off a tackle and gains 9 on the play. Marcus Duncan having a stellar debut couple of games, I should say. Duncan, one to look out for.
Yeah, and if he continues on this pace, he's definitely already in the early runnings for offensive rookie or SFL rookie of the year. I don't think we separate offensive defensive rookie of the years. You could probably check me on that if not. But Duncan doing a good job so far here through this quarter and a bit. Marcus Duncan there gets a nice first down after a spin move with the swing pass as Sioux Falls continues to roll on here. Great job from Duncan to just spin around, cross that first down boundary, and keep moving the chains here for the Sparrows.
New set of downs here for Sioux Falls. Thank you, partner. Heavy I formation. You're on 1st and 10. Handoff. Duncan. He tries to bounce it out to the right-hand side. This time, nothing doing. Met up by Juan, Mississippi. Right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Yeah, and Duncan getting already a lot of love here. He had a total of 28 touches last week, 14 carries and 14 receptions. We might see a lot of the same here today as he gets close to the double-digit mark in terms of touches already, just a quarter and 2 minutes in.
Second down, another power eye set, handoff Duncan through the middle, and he squeezes by those defenders and picks up 8 yards. And when things look pretty bottled up in that interior of the line, somehow Duncan is able to fit his 5'11", 200-pound frame through it.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on for those short running backs that we see out of some players. Sioux Nakai is probably one of those guys that I can think of right away that is so small sometimes he can just slip him any tackle.
Shotgun set now here for the Sparrows here on 3rd and short. Tyree has to get rid of it to the right-hand side. Caught by Terrazas, and it's incomplete. Did not get a foot down. It's 4th down.
This might be a challengeable play here for Sioux Falls because there it is, because I definitely thought Terrazas was definitely in bounds, with the ruling being 1 foot has to hit the sideline at least on the catch. But great job nonetheless from Julian Tyree just to stay patient, even though there was a lineman breathing down him. As we see the official replay here, nice little out route, and see if he gets his feet through, and I think he does with the 1. We'll have to see how refs R62 determines it, though.
After review, the play stands. The pass was incomplete.
The play will stand, says R62, and not a whole lot of folks happy here in Liberty Park. And so Sioux Falls will be down to a singular timeout after wasting their first on trying to get the defense to jump.
It's one of those definitely 50-50 options there. Maybe R62 in the booth believed that that hind foot wasn't fully on the ground. Not too sure, but nonetheless, that is a punt away again for Sioux Falls.
So the call goes in Minnesota's way as the ball bounces also in Minnesota's way. The first member of the Hands team could not get his mitts on it in time. That's Nathan Barnett, and it'll be down for a touchback, and the legend will take over at their own 20-yard line. The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live entertainment, live events, and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. Visit raredrop.co for more info on what the company does in the gaming community, and follow Rare Drop Sports on Twitch at twitch.tv/RDSports. Jason France on the big catch over the middle, gains about 16.
And that dual tight end set is going to leave one of the tight ends open, whether it be France or Christian Bachagalupe. And Johnny Reno doing a great job just finding his options real quick here, knowing that Sioux Falls has great pursuit from its edge rushers. So great job from Jason France to secure that catch and to get a quick first down for the legend.
Quick look at Reno's numbers. Does have the interception early in the ball game, but other than that, has stayed relatively clean and on point. Pass left side for Simons. Simons gets about 3 before falling out of bounds.
Yeah, and they're going to really rely on that on the out route options, as Buchanan Simons did a really good job last season with those out route options over in Charleston. And yeah, I think there's going to be more coming out that direction, especially for Simons.
Now from their own 39-yard line, I formation. Line jumps a bit on the defense, and so instead of it going backward after a tackle for loss, Minnesota's going to gain 5 yards on the penalty.
That's going to be James Kelly, the one that we credited the sack on the wrong team earlier, that gets the early jump on the edge side, the right edge side, and just gets a little bit too jumpy on his own. And yeah, definitely pushes Minnesota a little bit forward now here.
So it'll be 2nd and 2 after the penalty, as Minnesota trying to convert. They're in a short yardage situation, have not been able to do so in the last 4 consecutive short yardage plays. Handoff left side, Hart. This time they'll convert, and for big yardage across the midfield stripe and down to the Sioux Falls 41.
And there's that threat we've been talking about Colin Hart there. He has probably one of the best first 3 steps in the league, and the first 3 steps are so crucial when it comes to getting to your top speed right away. And Colin Hart does a great job finding the gap and then just using the turbo in his feet to get himself that first down and plenty of yardage more to flip the field.
Shotgun set here for the legend. Slant pattern over the middle. They find Jason France again, and they're down to the 26-yard line.
And now Minnesota's really moving here and definitely getting Jason France a little bit more involved as, 90 all slants. You see all 4 receivers, including the tight end, on that left side going with the quick slants option. One receiver is usually bound to be open, and this time it was the tight end.
Now Sioux Falls is going to put a little pressure on those wideouts coming right up to the line of scrimmage. Reno, little floater, diving catch is hauled in for a big gain, and it's 1st and goal to the fullback, Tank Williams.
Yeah, and one of the things I did say over the last season or so is that sometimes you have to keep an eye on those fullbacks because they're starting to become 5th options for receivers. And Tank Williams with a fantastic catch.
Tank didn't look like a tank. He looked like a jetliner over the middle of the field. Reno looking to the end zone. Touchdown! Viva la France! The Minnesota legend come right back.
Yeah, and Johnny Reno doing a great job with finding his open receivers on this drive here after one misspell on the first drive of the game for them and forcing 3 and outs, maybe relying too much on Colin Hart and just peppering him in a little bit more instead of force feeding it to the Sioux Falls defense. They go with more passes, they find open options, and it ends with a Jason France touchdown who had 3 receptions in this drive. And now they're an extra point away from tying this.
7-play, 80-yard drive culminating with that Jason France touchdown. Snap spot, Mickey Malello's kick is up and good, and we are tied back up at 7 apiece. Mickey's going to put the ball on the tee and get us rolling once again. 10-0 your scoreline over on SFL YouTube. Atlanta beating on the road over Jacksonville early on in the ball game. We're underway once again. AJ Levy, the dangerous return man for Sioux Falls, going to get this one up to the 30-yard line, but no further, and that is where the Sparrows will take over on offense. The SFL produces over 400 live events each year, but don't miss community content creators and their creations. Catch SFL Nights with AJ Stryker, Say It With Your Chest, Netma, and more covering season 19 and beyond. Check out archive versions of community shows. Visit simulationfl.net and click the logo of your favorite form of SFL entertainment on our homepage. Tyree is going to look for a swing pass to the right-hand side. That's Duncan who picks up a chunk of yards, about 6 all total before he's ran over at the 37-yard line.
And it's going to be an interesting situation here for Sioux Falls. Minnesota's now tied this game up, and you would think they would like to get some kind of response here. And their running game, more specifically their Marcus Duncan game, has been very successful so far, and I would expect them to continue going his way.
Split backfield here on 2nd and 4 for the Sparrows. Kyrie looking for another out route. It's tipped up, nearly picked off. It was read extremely well by Johnny Bravo, nearly taking that one away.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe Bravo was going to be too far behind, and it might have been an easier catch for A.J. Warren, but Bravo did a good job to turn up the Jets and try to get to that football, not getting the interception, but a nice deflection.
Offset I, 8 men in the box to try and counter this I formation look. Pass over the middle and right into the awaiting arms of the defender. Minnesota take it over. Now both teams have an interception on the ball game.
And Minnesota has to know that a lot of the targets that Julian Tyree is going to go to is going to K. Marion. And it was a great job from the defense to recognize that and have one of their men move a little bit forward in the form of Cody Griffin, the former Queen City Corsair, coming in with a key interception to turn the tides here for the Minnesota Legend.
Third interception of this early campaign for Cody Griffin, and now it's Minnesota's turn to start in plus territory. Reno looking over the middle, and they give it right back. Taken away by Terrell Davis, and Sioux Falls are right back on offense.
Yeah, and Sioux Falls, Julian Tyree gave Minnesota a gift with that interception and an opportunity to try to take this lead. But the first attempt of a throw from Johnny Reno, he underthrows it a little bit and falls right into the hands of Terrell Davis, and that's going to result in Sioux Falls getting the ball back almost instantaneously.
Second pick of the ball game for Reno, and Sioux Falls will take over right about where their drive ended. A few moments ago, play action. Near side throw is caught on the sideline, 8-yard pickup for K. Marion.
And a bit of a delayed play action there, as it looked like it was going to be a pass, and then did the fake handoff, and then realized there wasn't a lot of time in the pocket. Had to throw that quick to Marion because that left side was swarming with edge rushers trying to get to Tyree. So great job from Tyree to get that ball off quickly.
2nd and 2 now for the Sparrows. Tyree changing up the play. He's going to take a 2-step drop, looking for another out route to the right-hand side, and that one is more clear-cut. Noe Terrazas incomplete. An earlier out route to Terrazas was ruled out of bounds on a questionable call. This time more picturesque.
And I think this time Terrazas just cut a little bit too early, because I think Tyree had the right amount of timing and pace to throw a perfect pass, but Terrazas made too quick of a cut, so he had to throw it a little bit more out of bounds.
On set, near side, 3rd and 2. Tyree going to look for the swing pass, near side for Duncan. He gets past the marker, first down, Sioux Falls.
Now, as Minnesota being too focused on the wide receiving core and kind of forgetting about Marcus Duncan, wide open field for him to easily get that first down marker, and the first chance tackler at least got him down so it didn't get too much damage out of it.
After a couple of heavy sets, now they're going to spread the field with 5 wide receivers. Tyree back to throw under pressure. Deep ball over the middle. It is knocked aside. Incomplete as Derek Meerkat gets his mitts on another ball.
And what Sioux Falls loves to do here is that they pepper in those deep passes. A lot of times it usually goes to K. Marion, and this time just didn't pan out. Minnesota safeties did a great job in staying back and knowing that deep post was going to transpire, and great job getting a deflection.
Maybe liking what they saw in the earlier play, maybe looking for a different option this time around. Another 5 wide receivers set. Tyree looking deep over the middle again. Same result, incomplete. Meerkat again. It's a exact replica of a play ago.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Same formation, same routes from the receivers, same target, Noe Terrazas. And again, Minnesota had that all shored up. The safeties did a fantastic job and staying back, knowing where the receivers are going. And again, Derek Meerkat gets his second straight pass deflection and forces a 3rd and 10 from Tyree and Co.
They decided to take off 1 wide receiver and put Marcus Duncan back in the backfield here on 3rd and long. Play action. Tyree has to spin around, and down he goes. A sack of about 10 yards for Angela Meerkat, 2nd of the ball game.
Yeah, and Meerkat has been looking to get past that right tackle a few times. Got close, I would say, about a minute and a half ago in getting to Tyree again. This time, she gets to the quarterback way before he had enough time to sling that rock through, results in a 10-yard sack and a punt away of the football from Sioux Falls.
It looked like that play was designed to be a play action in the opposite direction. Tyree looked like he had to turn around and try and figure something out. Gave plenty of time for Meerkat to find a way into the backfield, and that is how Sioux Falls' drive ends. Adam Banks takes the return to the 27-yard line, and now Minnesota are back on offense. 2 drives ago was a nice conservative drive with a couple of aggressive plays, which found Jason France into the end zone. Last drive, 1 play, 1 interception.
Yeah, and this has to be Minnesota's opportunity here to take this lead. They shouldn't hold back here. I would say start off your first play with a deep pass.
3 wideouts here on first down. Hand up the middle for Colin Hart. Colin Hart breaking free of a couple of tacklers and picking up a first down. So instead of a long passing play partner, they go with Colin Hart up the gut for his best run of the game.
And that's the result of Minnesota deciding to go a little bit more pass heavy 2 drives ago, and especially on that last drive that had the 1 play interception. They're trying to make Sioux Falls forget about Colin Hart a little bit more and focus on the receivers, and that's what resulted in that 11-yard run.
Right around 50 yards on the ground for Colin Hart today. Hart gets another call, this time a little bit more reminiscent of what we've seen a couple of times from Hart, only a yard on the play, as it's Nick Fargo again in on the tackle, make that his 4th of the ball game.
And you have to be careful when it comes to feeding the ball to your running back too much or not enough, because the defense could start reading what kind of plays you're trying to go through. So second straight run this time does not get the 11.
Nickel look out of Sioux Falls here on second down. 2-step drop from Reno. Pass near side, caught by Adam Banks as he's trying to fight the sticks. He's going to get close. He's pushed out of bounds by a duo of defenders at the Sioux Falls 49.
And it seems like Minnesota was more than okay with that. They were just looking to move a little bit forward and try to open up that playbook for third down. And Banks did a great job to get that 9.5 yards and make that option very much open as they go goal line here.
2-minute warning here in the first half. 7-7 Minnesota Sioux Falls. 3rd and inches when we come back. You're watching the SFL live on Twitch. Liberty Park starting to get loud here on 3rd and inches. 9 men in the box for the Sioux Falls defense. They're going to try a run through the middle, and they'll convert on 3rd and inches for one of the few rare times today. Colin Hart picks up about 4 yards and the first.
Yeah, and it was just decision time for Colin Hart because there was an opening on that left side, but it didn't look to be as stable as the right side. So he cuts to the right and gets through the hole just enough to get that first down. Big key first down for Minnesota.
They're having set out of both clubs. Handoff, Hart left-hand side. He's directed backwards by the Sparrows defense. Darius Hawkins, who had a clutch 3rd down tackle in the first quarter, coming up with another tackle behind the line.
And it's going to be very interesting how Minnesota approaches this 2-minute warning here, as they are in enemy territory and they definitely want to score before the half ends so they can have a little bit momentum. But they might go run here again.
Pass over the middle. Jason Prance hauls it in for a pickup about 7 yards. 3rd and 4 upcoming as Minnesota rush back to the line. Another 2-step drop. They try to pass over the middle. Hit as he throws is Johnny Reno. Incomplete. Big Mike Wagner. All 350 pounds of him disrupting the play, and it's 4th down.
I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback fly that far back and still manage to get at least an attempt of a throw down here, because that was a bone-crushing hit from such a giant man in Mike Wagner.
So out comes the punting unit for Minnesota. Flat. Gonna try and angle this one to the far sideline. It's gonna bounce at about the 8, taken in at the 2, but forward momentum from the hands team will get him into the end zone, and so it's down for a touchback. Sioux Falls start their next drive on the 20-yard line.
Now 45 seconds to get 80 yards to the end zone. This is going to be deep past time. I think for Sioux Falls here, this is prime opportunity for Julian Tyree to sling that rock deep.
Only one timeout was wasted on a failed challenge. The other wasted on just trying to catch Minnesota offside. And so the first play to Duncan on the swing pass gained 6, and they're not going to hustle to the line of scrimmage.
And they might be just calling it here, knowing that they have only one timeout left, but they are quick to get back in formation here, so maybe they just wanted to change in formation.
Minnesota get the ball to start the second half. 16 seconds to go. Another swing pass for Duncan, right-hand side, trying to fight to the 30, taken down a yard shy. And that will more than likely be the final play of the half.
Definitely looking like it here as we shed the clock to triple zeros to get to the first half.
7-7 here at the end of 2 quarters. We've got a great border battle on our hands, partner. Couple of mistakes from both quarterbacks, but all in all, it's been a very Midwestern defensive battle. As we welcome you all back to Liberty Park here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Tyler Falk, Brett Solberg here in the booth, Rochelle Colston, Zach Holdorf, and Yogi Barr in the stats truck, and producer and commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters as Adam Banks will take the opening half kickoff, return to the 21-yard line, and he'll get stopped up right there, and that is where the Minnesota offense will retake the field.
Yeah, and the Minnesota offense just started to get a little bit more going as the second quarter started, and once it started transpiring, they finally got Colin Hart a little bit more involved, but it has stagnated over the last, I would say, 4 minutes of this second quarter, so they really need to start getting alive again.
Minnesota going to come out and be aggressive on the first play of the drive, and they're going to go with a shotgun pass to Jason Frentz, 9 yards, and the pickup to the 29.
Yeah, and the main benefactor of this Johnny Reno offense definitely has been Jason Frantz and his tight end crew that are leaving themselves open enough to get some options. Just a quick slant option this time for Jason Frantz. Gets himself open. The linebackers didn't recognize him as a passing option, which led himself a little bit more open here.
Second and 1 now from their own 29-yard line. I formation handoff. Colin Hart trying to fight his way through defenders. Cannot. Fargo and Williams combined for the tackle. They're only going to give him maybe a length of a football in distance gain.
Yeah, and that's been a very recurring story for Colin Hart here, trying to get in those second and close situations, and it's been very tough for him to get those first downs.
Another handoff, this time for Hart, this time a little bit more space for Colin to run through, and Minnesota will pick up the first down.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to happen again on this 3rd and inches situation where we saw one of the defenders getting really, really close to Colin Hart, just picking the wrong side of the offensive line to run through, but Colin Hart nonetheless still gets that first down and gives Minnesota another set of downs here.
We go with a stretch play to the right-hand side with Hart. Got a couple on the play. The pulling guard could not get over quick enough in order to cut off A.J. Levy on the tackle.
Yeah, there's that veteran awareness. There's that play recognition ability of A.J. Levy, knowing that the stretch play was transpiring and making sure that he transitions himself and tries to get to the running back as quickly as he could.
Wrong eye. Reno looking near side, deflected up in the air, and incomplete. John Barnhart comes away with deflection.
Yeah, straight one-on-one battle on an out route, which we don't see all too often. Sometimes the corners just let the out route happen and let them just, fall to the sidelines. But Barnhart this time gets the deflection and knocks it away to force a 3rd and 8.
Here on 3rd and 8, 4 wide receivers, Reno in the gun with Hart off to his right. Reno is going to look to throw. Crossing pattern denied by A.J. Levy, 4th down.
Yeah, and the safeties and corners of that Sioux Falls Sparrows defense did a great job, knowing that it might be just a play just long enough to get that first down. Had a bevy of defenders around on that pass, and Levy was the one to get his hands on that football and make it drop to the ground. Another forced punt here from Minnesota.
Falls maybe looking to send some pressure here on this punt by Ryan Platt. Here they come. Platt will get his punt away. High spiraling one to the 30-yard line. Fair catch called for by Levy, and Sioux Falls will take over at the 30-yard line. Esports TV has partnered with the SFL to bring sim football to millions of homes over the next 2 years. ESTV is the world's first 24/7 live, linear, and video on-demand esports channel available everywhere through your smart TV, on your phone, through Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. Visit estv.co to learn more about its programming and to find all the ways to catch SFL action on the network. Screenplay near side for Duncan here on first down. Gains about 3 yards before he's taken down by Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, and they're really looking to get Marcus Duncan involved here a lot. Like I said last week, 28 touches. And right now that should be touch number 16 for him. So he's getting pretty close to matching his marker from last week.
Play action. Tyree steps up in the pocket, floats it over the middle, caught by Duncan, who shakes free of one defender and gains about 6 yards to the 38-yard line, third and short upcoming.
And that'll get him to double-digit receptions here for the second straight week. And Marcus Duncan definitely being just a little bit of a pest for this Minnesota defense, trying to figure out where he's going to go and what he's going to do. This time he becomes that fourth option for a pass there, and he gets the catch.
Two wide receiver set, both off to the left. Tyree looking near side for Duncan, who has plenty of room to gain the first down to the 43-yard line. Hot on his tails was Johnny Bravo, could not close down quick enough, and Sioux Falls moved the chains.
Yeah, and it's that misdirection that Sioux Falls has done really good throughout this game so far. This time with Marcus Duncan going on the left side and going deep on the previous play. This time they just go with the swing option, and he gets an easy first down.
Strong power eye, hand off Duncan, trying to go through the middle of defenders, and he will pick up 3 yards before Cody Griffin wraps him up.
And Minnesota has to think to themselves that Duncan's gotten a lot of touches, especially on not on this drive, but in this game so far. And they really need to key in on him a little bit more. Even if he's a rookie, he's getting a lot of touches here.
High formation. 10 men in the box here for the legend. Hand off, Duncan trying to get through the defenders, gains another 3 yards before Griffin again is there to greet him.
Yeah, and Minnesota guessing right in terms of knowing that it's going to be a heavy set, ready to go for another touch to Marcus Duncan, but the offensive line did a really good job in getting some decent blocks and opening up enough of a gap for Duncan to get 3 yards.
Griffin leading the way in tackles with 6 today. Tyree, floater near side on the out route, caught, first down to A.J. Warren at Minnesota's 46.
Nice cut from Warren as well, just separating himself free from himself and Johnny Bravo just to get enough space for Tyree to sling that rock to the right side and just find him and get that easy first down.
Sioux Falls matriculating the ball down the field quite nicely. Tyree, swing pass near side for Duncan. Duncan trying to find a blocker, can't. Gets clobbered at the 44, picks up 3. Nice clothesline of a hit.
Yeah, and Minnesota's going to need to continue doing that to see if they can just shake the confidence from Marcus Duncan, as he's gotten a lot of touches here, and maybe turn that net positive to net negatives the next time he touches the rock.
Tyree got a 2 tight end set. He's going to look for one of them to the left-hand side. Caught. Turning upfield is Rod Tidwell. Picks up about maybe 6 yards on the play, third and short.
And I said earlier in this game that the tight ends can be a couple sneaky options. We saw J.J. McGee get a first down in the first quarter for Sioux Falls, and this time Rod Tidwell gets himself open on the split tight ends and gets 9 yards, which is going to open up the playbook here on third down.
Heavy set. Minnesota trying to stack the box with 9 defenders. Handoff through the middle is Duncan. He gets caught up behind, but he eventually finds a way past the chains and will move the chains for another Sparrows first down.
Very nice job from the offensive line to still keep the defenders in pursuit and just block them as much as they can, even though they were kind of pushing back a little bit. And good job on Marcus Duncan to be persistent in getting that first down.
Tyree looking near side, caught near the 32, gains his way to the 30-yard line, pickup of 5. BJ Loveless there to take him down, and it's 2nd and 5.
Again, it's another quick outs there for A.J. Warren, who's ran a couple of those on this drive already here with his second catch on an out route, and gets a decent amount of yardage. Again, opens up that playbook for Sioux Falls to kind of choose.
Strong power eye, 4-3 look out of the legend. 4:15 to go here in the third quarter. Hand off. Duncan and one of the Rare times today met in the backfield. Axel Raven combining with Mark Mello to bring him down. They're going to give him forward progress back to the original line of scrimmage.
You know, that could have been a perfect stretch play option for Sioux Falls there, but they decided to go up the gut instead. And you had two linebackers blitzing in for the run stop, with Axel Raven being the main man on the tackle.
It will give a loss of one. My apologies. Then it's going to a play action. Tyree looking out route, caught near the sideline, inbound with A.J. Warren. And again, Sioux Falls will make it another first down on third down.
And it's another out route for A.J. Warren, this time from the left side of the field. It's kind of flipping the playbook a little bit there for Sioux Falls. And again, gets himself open enough to just grab that catch and then decides to go twinkle toeing it to the sidelines to maintain that catch and maintain that first down.
Hovering right around 50% on third down of the Sparrows. Best drive of the football game. Floater, left-hand side, Duncan. Only a yard as Axel Raven is there at the 23-yard line.
And the big key here for this Sioux Falls drive so far has been dominating time possession. As we get close to 3 minutes here in this third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, we're getting close to about 4.5 minutes of Sioux Falls offense on the field.
Sounds about right, partner. 2nd and 9 now for the Sparrows. This drive continues to press on. Out route, near side, A.J. Warren spinning upfield and will get the first down before B.J. Lovelace hits him out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
And a little bit of misfortune from Lovelace as well, because if the tackle would have just stayed there, I think Warren might have been behind the first down line, but instead gets pushed ahead a little bit there and forces a first down to occur. Now 1st and 10 at the 14.
Play action. Tyree looking near the sideline again, and that one is also hauled in. This time, and for the first time today, Michael Knight, the rookie out of Ottawa, who only had one reception a week ago in week 1, has his first here in week 2.
Yeah, and you'll see the drive summary here. They started at 8:53 left in the third quarter. So that's 6.5 minutes gone here that Sioux Falls has used to get to the 6-yard line. Just absolutely fantastic clockwork done here from the Sparrows.
16th play of the drive coming up. Goal line eye. They're going to try and do a little screen play near side for Duncan. Duncan trying to spin up the field, and he gains a couple of yards before Bravo and company able to take him down. 3rd and inches at the 4.
And that was a first down saving tackle as well from Johnny Bravo and company, knowing that Marcus Duncan does have the strength to kind of push through one defender and get himself to the end zone, and now forcing this 3rd down situation. It's still a fairly open playbook with it at the 4, but kind of puts pressure on the Sioux Falls offense to cross that first down marker.
Trying to convert another 3rd down. This time the Legend are alive to the running play, and Buster Johnson will bust through the defensive line and take him down. And Johnny Van Man, the left guard, is down on the field.
And that might be a possible blow if Van Man stays down here. They're definitely, counting their blessings here, because they were forced to a field goal out of this, a field goal attempt. So Van Man can rest a little bit here, but if he's out for the extended period and for the next drive, this might not leave more open options for Marcus Duncan here.
Looks like he collided with Axel Raven in on the play. Maybe something to do with his knee. We'll get the report from you as soon as it's available. Meanwhile, Zosto Black, a chip shot from the right hash, 21-yard field goal is up and good, and Sioux Falls take the lead 10-7 here in South Dakota. The SFL is partnered with Laser to deliver digital SFL player trading cards to its players and viewers during live events on SFL Twitch. Viewers every 30 minutes will be issued cards, or you can buy SFL card packs through Laser's store. The new Season 19 pack will be available soon. Visit laser.gg and click the Join Alpha button to connect your Twitch account and begin collecting. Laser spelled Layzr. Return from Adam Banks can get to the 23-yard line, and that is where the Minnesota Legend will take over here on this next possession, looking to equal or better Sioux Falls' field goal from a few moments ago. Reno's going to start off this drive, and the shotgun has to roll to his right. He threw off his back foot. This time is not as lucky as he was on the first drive of the ball game. Biff Markin puts his body in front of it, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, the big thing here was that Sioux Falls drive lasting 7 minutes and 18 seconds, taking a huge chunk off of that third quarter clock. So Minnesota, I think in their minds, they definitely have to make this a quick drive to get themselves either tied or ahead in this game. And like you said, that back foot pass just doesn't work out this time instead of the first quarter attempt where it did become a completion.
Scratch that. Terrell Davis with the deflection. Markham was in on the pressure on Johnny Reno. 2nd and 10 now here for Minnesota. Reno looking right-hand side. Caught by Jason France, who's trying to bust his way past defenders. Picks up 8 yards all told on the pitch and catch from Reno to France.
Yeah, and you had a couple of Sioux Falls defenders that were really focused on Adam Banks on that right side, that they kind of forgot about Jason France coming in on the inside of the right, leave him open on an out route and get a nice 8 yards.
And up hard to the right-hand side. He is clothesline. He's speared. And he's going to go backwards 3 yards. It's a huge hit from Jason Strongbow. 4th down.
And they're definitely giving Colin Hart a tough time throughout this game. 13 carries and now kind of shedding close to under 3.5 yards per carry now after that loss. So very good job from this run defense of Sioux Falls.
Blatt will get this punt away. Another fair catch called by A.J. Levy at his own 37-yard line. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions, plus features from our content team, including Swamp Talk, Power Rankings, and many more feature series. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. Tyree's pass near side is going to gain about 3 yards and no further.
Yeah, and again, going with that tight end option there, going McGee this time. Third touch from the tight end core in terms of catches, and this time gets a couple yards. Minnesota really looking to get a quick stop here as we shed to the final seconds of the third.
That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. Get your 4s, 86s, and 12s up in chat. This is the SFL, presented by 8 p.m. Music, live on Twitch. Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg here in the booth. Glad to have your company here as it's Border Battle Weekend. Sioux Falls in Minnesota doing battle here from Liberty Park. Play action. Tyree looking for the out route near side. Caught for a gain of about 4 or 5 to K. Marion. 3rd down.
And again, Sioux Falls trying to go with that inch their way forward kind of system that worked on their last drive, even though it only resulted in 3 points. They really want to take care of this fourth quarter possession and see if they can extend this lead any further.
Third and short with 3 wide receivers. Tyree going to look for another out route, this time to the right-hand side. Warren caught it in the air. Forward progress to the 48-yard line, and the Sparrows continue the drive and continue to march down the field. Another first down on 3rd down.
And it's another out route again for A.J. Warren. He's been the master of the out route in the second half here, and he's getting himself just open enough for Tyree to sling that rock to, so he's doing a great job of elusiveness.
With backfield behind Tyree here on a new set of downs. Tyree looking over the middle, caught, shifty move from the wide out, gains him 9 yards for Noe Terrazas.
Yeah, not too often do you see 6'6" wide receivers kind of juke their way around the smaller and faster defenders, but we saw it here with Terrazas, and that gave him probably an extra yard or 2 there and make it a 2nd and 1.
Heavy set, split backfield. They try and run up the middle with Duncan, and taken down at the line of scrimmage by Axel Raven. 3rd and short coming up Can the legend defense stop him on third down?
Yeah, with Axel Raven being so quiet in this first half, he's definitely come alive and been big parts of the tackling unit here in the second half for Minnesota. But they've got one more play to do here to stop Sioux Falls from getting any points.
Sparrows are 7 of 13. Can they make it an 8 of 14? Yes, they can. Duncan up through the middle, first down.
And the big key here is that Sioux Falls, I don't think they mind too much getting into third down, as like you said, this is their 14th attempt at third down, and their ninth being successful. So they've done a pretty good job with this clock management here as they continue to shut it down.
A successful third down. That's their 5th of the second half. Swing pass right side for Duncan, and Duncan tries to spin away, but he's taken down by Bravo. As we get an update from Johnny Van Man, who got injured earlier, looks like he might be able to return.
And that's going to be big there for Sioux Falls if they continue going Marcus Duncan's way, because they're going to need as much max protection blocking as they can from their guards, and Johnny Van Man is probably one of the better run blockers in this league.
Good, says Biff Markham in chat. Handoff for Duncan through the middle, taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain as the defense held their ground, and it's 3rd and 8 from the 35.
Yeah, and this will be a big test here from Minnesota. The big key here, I would say, prevent 3 or less yards. That is the key there, because that'll get Sioux Falls in field goal range. This time with their empty set, force an incompletion.
5 wideouts, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Tyree looking for the corner route. Tippy toe grab by Noe Terrazas to keep the drive alive again. Got behind the defense, and they're inside the red zone.
And Terrazas was left on a one-on-one with Derek Meerkat, this time just burning past him. No problems whatsoever. My mistake. That's actually Johnny Bravo that got burned there, as Derek Meerkat decided to play the close game instead a little bit there with the flat coverage. But Noe Terrazas uses a little bit of his unsuspecting speed for such a tall receiver, gets himself open, and now in the red zone is Sioux Falls.
All right, formation. They'll hand off to Duncan through the middle, spinning around from 1, able to get up 5 yards. And check that, Freddie Cox is in for Marcus Duncan, as Duncan has to take a breather.
Yeah, and this is another key moment here for Minnesota. The last time that Sioux Falls was in the red zone, you stopped them before they get to the end zone and force a field goal. If you can force a field goal here again, game is still up for grabs. You can still get a touchdown and try to take the lead.
Tyree going to look for Fox to the right-hand side. He spins away, but not entirely away. And again, check that again. Duncan back in after 1 play of sitting out.
Yeah, not too much of a rest there for Marcus Duncan, as he gets a quick breath of the air tank and gets back out there and gets Sioux Falls in an even closer situation. 3rd and 1. We've seen this before, and Minnesota stopped them. Can they do it again?
This time I only see 1 wide receiver out there instead of 5. Can they convert for another 3rd down? Hand up, Duncan through the middle. You betcha! And they're knocking on the door now. It's 1st and goal from the 1.
Another 3rd and close situation, and they go with the run play. Just enough of an open gap for Duncan to get through, and it's yet another 3rd down conversion. Now they have 3 or even 4 tries to get 1 yard into the end zone for 6.
High formation. Tyree looking for Duncan out of the backfield on the swing pass. Taken down at the 3-yard line. It's a loss of 2 as Johnny Bravo gets to Duncan.
No, you got to get forward 1 yard, not lose a yard. Not a bad idea going with the swing pass, but Minnesota read that like a children's book, and they had 2 defenders ready to go, and they pushed them back behind the line.
Split backfield here on 2nd and goal. They try to go back to the run game. Duncan is denied at the goal line. Gains 2. Derek Meerkat in on the stop. As Sioux Falls continue to knock on the door, courtesy of our SFL commissioner. Sioux Falls 66 plays to Minnesota's 43. This one being the 67th offensive play here for the Sparrows here on 3rd down. Tyree under pressure. Swing pass outside is bobbled by Duncan. Incomplete. 4th down.
Yeah, and look who made that big push to prevent Duncan from getting that full catch. It's Derek Meerkat once again. And again, Minnesota with a fantastic goal line stop and forces Sioux Falls into kicking this field goal. That's insane because this leaves them with possibly only a 6-point deficit and about 5 minutes left in the game to try to tie or take the lead.
Here in the second half, Sioux Falls have had 2 drives go deep into Minnesota territory, only having to come away with chip shot field goals. This one a 17-yard attempt. Poor snap is finally corralled by Willie Beeman. Kick is up and good from Zostio Black, and it's a 6-point ball game, 13-7. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection. State-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Adam Banks on the return from near his own 2-yard line. He gets bulldozed by J.J. McGee at the 22.
And with about 5 minutes left to go here, Minnesota definitely needs to get their bag of tricks ready to go here. Maybe see if they can misdirect Sioux Falls' defense a little bit, because that Sparrows defense has been on point for the last 3 quarters and have been basically answering every response that Minnesota's tried to throw at them.
Most pivotal drives of the ball game here for the legend. Reno looking to pass, left side, tipped up and nearly intercepted. It was Jay Ringgold who got his hands on it first. Eric Williams could not haul it in off the tip.
Yeah, and what's crazy that I've seen right now is that Sioux Falls has had the football for about 14 of the last 18 or 19 minutes of this football game. They've just dominated this time possession. Minnesota needs to take care of this football, maybe use all that 4:57 left in this game to get a touchdown.
That would certainly help matters here, as they're going to try and run the ball this time with Colin Hart through the middle. Gets a thrown over the back of a defender, picks up 8 yards on the ISO, and it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, and it was a great job from Colin Hart to continue moving forward after kind of getting ragdolled around, and still got the 8 yards so we can open up the playbook here on this 3rd down.
Reno's going to look to throw, trying to scramble, looking deep over the middle for Jason France. Nothing doing, incomplete. Nick Fargo in on the coverage. 4th down, it's a quick 3 and out, not what the legend wanted.
But this is decision time for Minnesota here. Do they think that the Minnesota defense can make a quick stop here so the offense can get the football back, or are they going to have to go for it on 4th down? Their offensive unit is out here that looks like they might go for it on 4th and 2.
Interesting play call from their own 30-yard line with 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in regulation. Do they have a little bit of Minnesota magic in them? They do snap the football, pass over the middle, caught at the 35. First down legend they convert on 4th down.
Yeah, and I have to think in the minds of Minnesota here, this is 4-down territory. Use all 4 downs to move down the field and try to get some points out of this as they get their 4th down conversion here and keep the football.
A clutch catch from Buchanan Simons as up the middle goes Colin Hart for a gain of 8.
Yeah, instead of this being a 3rd and 2 situation, they've got a 2nd and 2, so they can open up this playbook here for at least 2 plays, maybe go for another run down for Colin Hart, maybe just inch their way forward a little bit more and try to control this clock. They're hurrying it up a little bit here to the line. They've got everyone lined up here. This could be a run.
Full-line offense on the field here for the legend. Handoff, Hart trying to go through the middle. He's tiptoeing his way through the tulips and picks up another legend 1st down.
Yeah, and that's what Minnesota needs here as they keep ticking the clock down. They're hoping that they can finish this drive with a score so that Sioux Falls has no chance of responding. So great job so far dictating the pace of this drive.
Clock getting close to the 3-minute mark. Reno, corner route, left-hand side, and they got a little too greedy. It's picked up by Barnhart. 3rd pick of the ball game for Johnny Reno, and Sioux Falls will take over on offense.
And this was a well-planned idea from Johnny Reno and co., the offensive coordinator, clearly thinking if we can just inch our way forward and kind of shock and surprise them with a deep pass, but just like the entirety of the second half, Sioux Falls has been responding so well to all the offensive plays, and John Barnhart gets himself an interception. And if Sioux Falls can get any kind of score here, that might seal the deal for them.
Ball's going to start off in the gun. Tyree going to pump once. Under pressure, hit as he throws ball, tumbles to the turf. Incomplete pass. Angela Meerkat hit the quarterback as he was trying to throw it.
And now this is Minnesota's defense. It's their time to shine here. You've been pushed back all the way to your own goal line a couple times from the Sioux Falls team. But if you want a chance to get back in this game and tie this or take the lead, you stop them here 2 more times as they go heavy set.
What that incomplete pass does, partner, is it stops the clock with 3:07 to go. Handoff, Duncan goes nowhere, right back to the line of scrimmage. Raven and company in on the stop, and now the clock can run.
Yeah, and now, Sioux Falls was kind of forced into doing a run play there after the incomplete pass so they can shed some clock away. Now with this 3rd and 10, they might have to go pass here just to get that first down as they get 3 receivers on a split back.
3 wide receivers, split backfield. Nickel look out of the legend here on 3rd down as the clock will likely tick to under 2:30. No, Tyree going to elect to snap it now. Pass over the middle, caught by Noe Terrazas across midfield to Minnesota's 46.
And Minnesota has done a fairly good job in limiting these long throws from Julian Tyree. We haven't seen any big, massive games from either of these receivers yet, but Noe Terrazas has definitely been the benefactor of a lot of these bigger plays coming out, and another key first down heading his way.
Line set as likely we'll see the Sparrows wind this clock all the way down to the 2-minute warning. No, Tyree gonna snap it off to Duncan. He's taken down at the line of scrimmage, and now we hit the 2-minute warning. The legend down by 6 points. Can the Sioux Falls Sparrows milk the clock away? You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Twitch. Minute 57 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Sioux Falls 13, Minnesota 7. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg here in the booth, here for an exciting conclusion. Tyree's going to throw here on 2nd down for Duncan, right-hand side. He lost the football, and Minnesota's defense on the return! And it's going to be a fumble return touchdown! The legend defense becomes legendary!
And we're talking about the man that we've talked about all second half, who's made the key stops on 3rd downs. He's made key deflections on 1st and 2nd down. It's going to be Derek Meerkat with the fumble recovery, and he waltzed it in for the end zone. But a big credit there to Juan, Mississippi, making the big tackle on Marcus Duncan. Sometimes experience wins over the rookie hands, and this time Minnesota using their veteran leadership in Mississippi and in Meerkat to get themselves the score they desperately needed. They've now tied the game. They're an extra point away from taking the lead.
Now I'm going to break the 4th wall just a little bit. Partner, did that look, as a Vikings fan, that looked eerily similar to the Vikings-Tampa Bay game that was in overtime, where Tampa Bay decided to throw it, it got fumbled, and the Vikings were able to return that for a scoop and score touchdown. Minnesota now go ahead, the legend go ahead by a point, 14-13.
And we talked about this offense trying to get alive and try to get themselves a score to try to tie this game, but little did we think that this immaculate defense that has worked so hard throughout this game would get their reward in a fumble recovery touchdown. Just an amazing job from this defense.
One thing we know about Sioux Falls is that A.J. Levy is a dangerous return man, so this game ain't over just yet. Levy will start his return inside his own 10-yard line. He's going to break through a couple tackles, and what did I say? It's a dangerous return to the 47-yard line.
And that was a key spin move as we see the replay here. First off, decent blocking done by the special teams unit, and it was all A.J. Levy there as he spins around one man and tries to get himself forward. If he would have had the speed to beat that second man, that could have been a kick six, and that would have been pandemonium here in Sioux Falls. but Sioux Falls starts in great position here. A $1:38 left with only 53 yards to pay dirt.
If they can get to the 35-yard line, they're definitely in Joshua Black's range. Tyree is going to look to throw right-hand side. Caught inside the 35. Down to the 31 goes the wide receiver, A.J. Warren, and they're right into field goal range.
Yeah, just one play, and they're right into field goal range for Jostel Black, who now has a 48-yarder. Looking at it right now, if I'm Sioux Falls, I'm shedding the clock as much as I can and starting to use Marcus Duncan to inch forward.
Shotgun set, they're going to pass again over the middle. Caught by Noe Terrazas. First down on Minnesota's 21. The legend call a timeout.
Yeah, this is desperation mode here from the Minnesota defense, thinking that they got the job done here with the fumble recovery touchdown, but there's still plenty of football left to go here, and Levy gave them great position to start things off and momentum right back in Sioux Falls side.
Fans in the stands and in chat shaking their head, pleading with their club to not throw it anymore. They're going to keep it on the ground. With Duncan, he maybe gets a yard as the legend called their second timeout. 1:02 to go in the fourth.
And the big key here is that Minnesota needs to make either the same stop as they did before and force a fumble or an interception, or just try to limit any gainage for Marcus Duncan and make that kick as tough as possible for Jostel Black.
2nd and 9 from the 20-yard line. Linebackers show blitz. Tyree's going to throw it out for Duncan the right-hand side, and Duncan gains a yard, stays in bounds, and so that'll take the final timeout off the board for Minnesota.
Yeah, and you can see the Minnesota defender trying to push Marcus Duncan out of bounds, and Duncan had the wherewithal and the strength to stay in bounds and force that final timeout from Minnesota here. The big key for Minnesota is if he can limit and prevent a first down from happening and also get them out of bounds.
4 wide receivers. This does not look like a running play. Play action. Tyree looking right-hand side. It is caught and going out of bounds short of the sticks with 53 seconds to go. That will gift Minnesota some more time if they can get the ball back. On comes the field goal unit for Sioux Falls. An agonizing play call for Sioux Falls.
And I think that Tyree was waiting for a receiver to cut out a little bit deeper, but he cut too soon, which caused the pass to be short and the catch to be short. And now Jostel Black has about a 29-yarder his way.
This is longest of the ball game. Snap spot. Black's kick is up. No problems there. And the lead swings back into Sioux Falls' favor, 16-14, with 50 seconds left to go in the ball game. Coverage of the SFL on Next Level Sports continues tomorrow, July 17th at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, with the Los Angeles Lycans welcoming defending champion Baltimore, with live look-ins on another battle of expansion teams, Canton versus Indianapolis. Next week's coverage will feature Las Vegas versus Florida and Denver-Fort Worth. For a channel guide and more information about NXT, visit NLSE.com. On the return now is Adam Banks from his own 3-yard line. Time slowly evaporating on the legend as they get it down to the 25-yard line. They're going to have to go at least 50 yards to get it into Malelo's range.
And they have to think Colin Hart as a fourth receiver. You can't use him as a swing pass option, I don't think. And I don't think you can use him as a running option. You either use him as a block or a 4th/5th receiver. This is all going to be deeper passes, get those key first downs, and keep moving the chains.
Trying to put a trio of interceptions behind him. Swing pass left-hand side for Colin Hart. He only gets a couple of yards. And they're going to have to hustle back to the line. Do not have any timeouts. Clock ticking closer to 30 seconds. Reno going to have to look deeper down the field this time. Diving attempt incomplete. Falls incomplete. They were looking for Jay Taylor, and it bobbled off his fingertips.
And there's the problem with using your first play as a swing pass, because that shed 20 seconds off the clock, practically half the time that they had remaining, and all they've got to account for it is 2 yards. So they need to look deep. They need to look for at least a 30-yard pass coming their way. You've got speed options. I would look at Adam Banks here.
3rd and 8 with 4 wide receivers. Reno's going to look for another swing pass. Hart could not hold that one, and maybe that was for the best, as now it is 4th down for Minnesota.
Yeah, that might have been favorable, but a very poor play call, if I have to say, for Minnesota here. Going with the swing pass again. You cannot afford to do a swing pass in your own field territory with 24 seconds left. You need to go deep. You've got 2 speedy options. You've got Adam Banks and you've got Buchanan Simons. Look at one of those guys' directions.
4th and 8 from their own 27-yard line. Reno over the middle for France. 1st down to the 36-yard line, but they got to hurry.
They need to hurry here. They've got less than 15 now.
13 seconds, 12, and finally Reno snaps it to stop the clock.
And this one here, this next play has to be something more than 15 yards. They got to get themselves in enemy territory on this play, if not a pay dirt pass.
They need to get them to within the 35-yard line of Sioux Falls and get out of bounds, or just go for it all here. 2 wideouts to the left, 2 wideouts to the right, with Hart in the backfield off to Reno's right. Reno looking over the middle, caught short of the marker. They're going to hurry up to the 46-yard line. Reno trying to get his man set. 2 seconds, 1 second, and clock has expired on Minnesota. Pharaohs take the win, 16-14, in an instant classic.
Unbelievable game from these two here. A back and forth defensive juggernaut battle. Something that Eddie Gage would watch over and over and over again. This is the kind of defensive game that a lot of defensive coordinators love. With combined, these two teams just getting to over 520 yards of total offense. We sometimes see that from one offense in a game. It's just ridiculous how defensive tough these two teams were, and I really feel bad for Minnesota because the first 2 weeks they only allowed 24 points and they come out of it with a 1-1 record. This 2 weeks have shown that Minnesota is going to be a tough team to beat, but nonetheless, great job from Sioux Falls coming back from adversity after a fumble recovery touchdown, getting an ensuing drive, getting the field goal to take back the lead. Just an amazing game. Just amazing work from both these teams. Congratulations to Sioux Falls.
An excellent game all around. The Legend falls short by 2 points. They head home next week as they're going to take on Queen City. Sioux Falls will go on the road, I believe, next weekend for week 3. I want to thank a couple of people for helping us out today. Of course, my partner Brett Killian here in the booth, Rochelle Poston, Yogi Barr, and Zach Holdorf, the stats truck, making us sound smart all game long. And of course, the SFL commissioner back at SFL HQ, keeping us looking smart and making us look pretty here all day today. Our player of the game here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, is none other than Marcus Duncan. 64 yards and a touchdown, over 100 all-purpose yards today. I've been Tyler Falk. More action coming here on the SFL family of networks. And until then, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Love you, Matt. Badoo.